Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here. So if you just watched my update video from a couple days ago, you may or may not already know that I do plan to release a couple of videos this week, filming in my beautiful Mini Cooper. A lot of stuff going on this week for me. The studio is a mess. I haven't really had a chance to film any videos this week, but I wanted to make sure that I had some stuff coming out. So I thought it would be a good idea to beta test a new mini series that I wanted to put out there. Something that I like to call No Cap with Michael O'Brien, where I literally take off my hat, let my hair down, so to speak, and have a discussion with you guys. I guess you can kind of classify it like a rant, although as Craig Petty brilliantly said on his channel, Michael O'Brien and ranting kind of don't go in the same sentence. I don't want to be hostile or just like complaining or anything like that on this channel. So instead of these rant videos, I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to start a discussion with you guys. So what I want you guys to do is watch this video, and then at the end of the video, I want you guys to dive into the comment section and participate in the discussion here. Today's topic is going to be how we can be more inclusive and more welcoming in the magic community. Because I know I've harped on this a bunch. I've done like 3 videos on this subject now, but it just keeps coming up that I feel like I really need to talk about this. So not too long ago, I don't want to name names or anything like that. Again, I don't want either party, either the receiving party or the perpetrating party to feel called out or anything like that. But someone posted in one of the magic groups on Facebook, one of those videos that, you know, magicians will post where they'll say, hey, I've been working on this move. Can you take a look at it and tell me what needs improvement, right? So this person was acting for some constructive feedback. So they posted a video of them doing a card sleight, and I'll tell you right now, the card sleight looked amazing. It looked really good. This isn't a situation of like they posted a sleight and it was terrible and people were ripping them apart for the sleight. No, in fact, this is someone posting a sleight that was so good, people had nothing to critique about it, nothing to criticize. So instead, people thought that it would be a good idea to start talking about the magician's appearance. So the magician filmed this in their living room, right? Not naked, like they were wearing clothes. They were just wearing like an undershirt, and you know, that's it. Like he was just wearing like his undershirt, like, you know, normal clothes for being in the house. And people were telling him like, man, you're posting in public wearing that, like go put on a shirt, like take off whatever you're wearing and go put on a shirt or whatever. And then someone talked about how big his head was or something. His head wasn't even that big. I don't know if the camera angle was like at a weird angle or something, but like people feel the need to just criticize you about something. In this case, they had nothing to criticize about the performer, about how good their technique was. So they were like, you know what? This guy's not dressing the way that I want him to dress in his own house, so I'm going to criticize that. You know, or this guy's head looks kind of weird. I'm going to criticize that. This guy's not smiling in the video, so I'm going to criticize that. Was another criticism that someone gave him, like, you should be smiling in your video. He's not posting a performance video. He's posting like a... You're supposed to look at the move and critique the move, was what he posted about. And tons of glowing reviews, tons of glowing comments saying, oh my God, that was so great, this and that. Maybe you could do this to make it better, but honestly, it's just being nitpicky at this point because the move is so flawless, right? And then you had the other handful of people, which were a minority, I'll be honest, that were just like criticizing the way the magician looks, right? So why am I bringing this up? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just an internet thing in general. I know it's not just a magician thing because I'm a member of some other communities too. I'm a musician. I'm in some music Facebook groups. And it's the same thing over there. It's just like people you know, like someone will like post a video of them performing music, and rather than critiquing the song, they'll like critique other things that have nothing to do with the music of the video that the guy posted. So it's not a magic thing. It's just, I think it's a people thing. I think it's an internet thing, because when we're face to face, people don't have the balls to criticize you the way that they do to your face, right? They'll be, you know, they'll kind of be reserved. They'll hold back a little bit. But for some reason online, people feel like it's the Wild West and they can just say whatever they want. So here's my question for you now. What can we do to kind of put an end to this kind of thing, right? Where we need to be more inclusive. We need to be more supportive of each other, right? And not just saying and doing stupid little nitpicks to people to kind of, excuse me, to kind of tear them down, right? Because it's not necessary, it's uncalled for, and I don't know. Am I being too sensitive? Like, you tell me, because it's not just like, if this was like TikTok and this was like 12-year-old kids, like, you know, breaking each other's balls or whatever, like maybe it might be a different story. I wouldn't harp on it so much, but this is like working professional magicians that have been doing magic for a really long time, that they have to go on Facebook and they're looking at different magic performances, and if you look at the comments that they leave, it's like they never say anything positive. It's always, you did this wrong, or that looks bad, or you should do this instead, or whatever, right? So I'm not saying we should never give constructive feedback. On the last video that I did, the Ronald McDonald one, I talked about how we should, if we are going to give constructive feedback, we should give it in a way that's very positive. Craig Petty responded to that, and he came up with a solution that is something that I completely forgot about, the compliment sandwich, okay? I think he called it the shit sandwich because the shit is right in the middle. But for me, I like to do the compliment sandwich, because the compliment is the buns, right? The first bun and the second bun, and then the constructive stuff is all the meat in the middle. So if you're going to compliment if you're going to criticize someone, you should at the very least tell them 2 things that you really liked about their performance, right? So I don't know. Let's go back to the Ronald McDonald situation, right? The guy. For those of you who don't know, this guy dressed like Ronald McDonald at a gig, did a chop cup, and he didn't do a very good job. Okay, I'll leave it there. I don't want to rehash the whole thing. If you want to know more, go watch the Ronald McDonald video. It's in the Others playlist. It's one of the rants that I did. So, what I could say is like, dude, like, that was really cool of you to like learn this routine. You know, having to do it in the Ronald McDonald suit is probably really difficult. You know, but you did a good job. Now I have some things that I need to tell you, because you kind of flashed a little bit. The loads look a little forced. You know, it looked like you were struggling. I don't know if it's maybe the vest that you were wearing, or, you know, maybe if you just need to work on this routine a little bit more. But I just want to let you know I did see some things that I think you could improve on. But overall, you know, I really appreciate that you took the time to learn this, and blah, 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 right? And you compliment them. You compliment them at the beginning, you compliment them at the end, and you criticize it in the middle. There are a lot of people that just will criticize, and it gets to the point where you're not even giving constructive feedback anymore. You're just telling them that their thing sucked and that they shouldn't do it anymore. And I'll be honest with you, I get a lot of people climbing into my DMs telling me that they want to quit magic, that they don't want to do magic anymore, that they feel lost. They feel like they're not improving because every time they post something that they think is better, it gets shot down and shit on. And, you know, it sucks. And I know that there's a lot of people, probably some of you watching this, that are going to say, yeah, well, you know, sink or float, you know, trial by fire, you just got to do it until you get better. And those that are quitters, you know, they shouldn't be magicians in the first place anyway. And that's a really crappy way to like look at things, right? Like, my whole goal on this channel, the reason that I started this channel in the first place, was to help magicians who need help building their act, looking for material for their act, maybe getting inspiration by watching performances, learning magic, tutorial videos on my channel, stuff like that. But most of all, I try to, as much as I can. I know every once in a while I get heated and I say something maybe that I shouldn't say, but I do my very best to foster a very supportive and very welcoming community of people of all skill levels. Jeff McBride himself could be on my channel, and I'm talking to Jeff McBride the same way that I talk to someone that has never done a card trick before but is interested and has a passion for magic and wants to learn, right? Everyone is at the same level. I wish when I first started that I had someone that could tell me all of this stuff, because it would make my job a whole lot easier, right? And I know a lot of people say, yeah, but if you just give them everything, then they won't learn. And if they have everything handed to them, then they'll just expect you to hand them more things, and they'll think that, you know, everything just needs to be handed to them, and they'll fail or whatever. They won't pick themselves up by their bootstraps or whatever silly thing people like to say. So honestly, I don't buy any of that. My whole thing is, what can I do to be helpful to the community? What can I do to be inclusive? What can I do to be welcoming? You know, whether it be focusing on just helping people learn magic or just being kind. If someone posts a magic video, just clicking the like button, you know, and dropping a comment saying like, oh, that was really cool. If it sucked, drop that like anyway, and then you can climb into their DMs and you can say, hey, I really liked that video that you did, compliment sandwich, but I noticed that you kind of flashed a little bit. I don't know if you want to leave the video up or take it down. It's completely your call. I just don't want you to feel, I don't want people to comment on your video revealing the trick. Maybe do X, Y, and Z, and then come back and post another video. I'd love to see it, because like I said, it's really good and this and that, but maybe you just need to practice it a little bit more or watch your angles or whatever, right? You could do that. Maybe thinking of more inclusive ways to welcome different groups of people into the magic community, whether it be members of the LGBTQIA+ community, or people of color, people in the Black community, people in the Hispanic community, you know, people from other parts of the world. I try to do whatever I can to be as inclusive and as positive as possible. So final thought in this video, I kind of already mentioned it before, but final thought, here is your homework. I want you guys to go in the comment section, and I want you guys to let me know of one way that you think we could be more inclusive in the magic community, and what we can do to try to change the, what's the word that I'm looking for? The word is escaping me. It's right at the tip of my tongue. Not the atmosphere, the culture. There you go. What can we do to change the culture in this magic community of being like really toxic and harsh in the criticism, to being more welcoming and more helpful, right? Again, I know that there are people watching this that go, if you just blow smoke at people's ass, they're never going to get any better. And I'm not talking about blowing smoke at people's ass, but what I do expect is people to, if you are going to give criticism, to give constructive criticism, not to be a jerk. There was no reason for anyone to tell, you know, this guy who's sitting in his own house, who asked for advice on how to perform his double lift, how to dress. You know, it might be a different situation if he was out at a gig and he was like in his boxer shorts and his wife beater. Might be a different situation. But if he's in his own house and all you see is his freaking hands and his face, that's all you could see. It was like chest up, all you could see is his hands and his face, and people found a way to criticize how he looked or whatever, right? So all I want to know is, how can we be more inclusive and more welcoming and more helpful, and what can we do to kind of change this culture where people feel the need to just like criticize everyone and everything without actually offering any kind of feedback. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, make sure to click the subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll know every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to check out some more magic, visit us at o'brienmagic.com, and be sure to check out our online magic shop, where you will find the latest and greatest magic books, downloads, and accessories.